Angry MGTOW here. And my balls itch. My balls really itch. Hey guys, so I'm just in the middle of scratching my balls, and today we're talking about why weak men made feminism possible. And it's true. Weak men made feminism possible. You think I'm joking? I am not joking. And yeah, I'm not exactly extremely close to my mic right now, so if I do sound a little bit low, I don't give a fuck. But yeah, weak men made feminism possible. This is a response to AConMann, and he's a pretty weak bro. In fact, he's not my bro. This dude is definitely not my bro. So let's go ahead and check this video out. Let's go and check the fucking video out. Come on. Let's check the video out. Alright. So this is this guy right here, and we're just gonna watch this video and listen to the things that this guy has to say. And you can see that he's a pretty small guy. He's very small, he's very skinny, and you know, it shouldn't shock anyone that this is the type of guy that would automatically reject masculinity and support feminism. And the name of his video is actually called Why I, a Dude, Needs Feminism. Why I, a Dude, Need Feminism. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to what this guy has to say.
So, I'm a dude, right?
Okay, I just love how he had the need to announce that he's a dude. Okay, dude, we totally get it. You're a dude. All right? Is there anything else you need to tell us other than the fact that you're a dude? Oh, I know. In 2017, it's all about gender intersectionality, right? Louis Nunez. Yeah, Louis, I saw the video and I didn't give a fuck. Just responding to a comment in the comment section, guys. Yeah, so in 2017, it's all about gender intersectionality, which basically means you can't let anyone feel upset. Everyone's sensitive. Everyone has the feels. Oh gosh. You know, I'm just looking at the chat, and the chat is always wild. Yeah, so this guy is a total joker. But let's continue listening to what he has to say, even though I really don't want to.
I'm a cis dude, and I'm also a feminist. But wait, doesn't that mean you hate men? I don't know what that voice was. No, as a matter of fact, it doesn't mean that I hate men. I am a man, so that would be kind of silly.
Is it just me, or is this guy really unlikable? I mean, just look at that face. Is it just me, or is he really unlikable? You know, like, there's some guys who just have one of those faces that, you know, you just can't seem to like. Is it his face? Is it his voice? Is it his aura? I think it's a combination of all three. His face, his voice, and his aura. You just get that feeling that you just don't like the guy.
Definition of feminism that I work with, and most people who identify themselves as feminists work with, is the fight for the equality of the sexes. Yes, there is a very loud, very angry minority of people who claim the term, whose real goal is to just dethrone men and put women in the place, but
Now, I love how he casually admits that there is a very loud group of individuals, women, that are fighting to dethrone men and put women into power. But then he's going to go on to say, but that doesn't matter because we still need feminism, using some backwards logic. This is the type of man that allowed feminism to prosper. Weak men like this made feminism possible. But there's more.
that's the exact same problem. There's always a huge discussion over the definition of feminism, and I just think that's rather silly. Right, I think there are a lot more bigger, important issues at hand here. I don't really care about what you label yourself as or what you don't label yourself as. So why do I, a dude, need feminism, right? I stand to benefit a lot from the current power structures of the genders, right? A lot. So completely disregarding the small fact that women are also people and just general being a solid, decent human being, these are my selfish reasons for needing feminism. I need feminism because in a world governed by the current gender roles applied to men and women, I would not be very successful at that. If all of a sudden I found myself time traveled back into the 1950s, being married with 2 kids, having to provide for the family, having to make all the decisions completely for everyone in the house, oh god, I would not do well at that at all.
I mean, just listen to that. He basically says that he is too weak of a man to actually run a family, to actually lead a woman, to actually guide to actually be a man. He is too weak to take on the roles of being a man. So he needs feminism because feminism will essentially free him from the responsibility of being a man. Oh my gosh. I mean, how ridiculous does it... Who would want to be like this guy? This is the type of guy that male feminists sound like. This is what they look like.
I'm shy, I'm passive, I'm definitely not good at making decisions for other people. That would be bad news bears. The family would fall the freak apart.
He cannot... Okay, so this guy sounds more like a housewife than a husband. I mean, I'm bad at making decisions for other people. The family would fall apart. Holy cow. Holy cow. These are the guys. You know, Turtling the Monkey, I had a conversation with Turd, and he brought up the fact that there was a group of men, he brought up the fact that, you know, throughout history, there were always the beta males who just would never be allowed to reproduce. These are the guys that would be turned into eunuchs or kept as slaves. And, you know, I've said it before, that I think it was Plato that said, you know, some men are born to be some men are born to be masters, and some men are born to be slaves. And I mean, it really just stands up to that, because some men are not capable of leading, of guiding. They have to be led, they have to be guided. And imagine a guy like this passing on his genes. A guy like this passing on his genes is just ridiculous to consider, because it would just create more weak, effeminate children, more weak, effeminate men.
I work best in a relationship when the person that I'm with is my companion, when we're a team, making decisions together.
In other words, he basically likes to let the woman basically say whatever she wants to do, and he follows the lead. You know, these are the kinds of guys that end up with some really angry, big, egotistical, red-headed feminist that bosses them around, and then they basically have the nerve to talk down to other men. I despise guys like this guy. These guys are so horrible. Like, they don't have a man card. This guy wasn't born with a man card. He has no man card. This guy's a fake. He's a phony.
As like a, yeah, go us sort of movement. Kind of related to that, I need feminism because I'm not very good at being a traditional man. I went to an all-guys high school. Yeah, and I spent most of my time in high school trying to be a better dude. I say try because I failed often, and sometimes I would slip and do something traditionally feminine, like sit with my legs crossed or say something with a higher intonation in my voice.
Okay, guys, so, like, sit with his legs crossed or say something with a higher intonation in his voice. In other words, high-pitched. This guy, oh my gosh. This is why the West is so fucked right now. It's guys like this guy who are openly attempting to co-opt masculinity, and they love feminism because feminism lets them hide amongst the group. It lets them hide amongst the group while they're, sucking up resources. Guys like this. Do you think a guy like this in ancient times would make it? I mean, he said it. He would never make it. Even in the 1950s, being a husband, he wouldn't make it as a husband. So you think this guy would make it as a hunter-gatherer? You think this guy would make it as a warrior? Hell, do you think this guy would make it even having to provide for himself? Just talk about providing for himself a couple hundred years ago. This guy wouldn't make it providing for himself. This guy wouldn't be able to go out, catch some fish, farm, hunt, do the basic things to survive. This guy wouldn't even make it doing that stuff. All right? This is the reason why society is going to hell, because we have these type of people feeding off society, feeding off the hard work of real men, men who actually build things, labor to make to produce food, to produce resources that guys like him suck up because of feminism.
And did not end well from social status. If the goals of feminism succeed and everyone's allowed to exist as they are without any pressures from outside sources, yeah, that's great, but that's good for me. Right, I can just straight up do heel clicks in the hallways without being accused of being gay every 5 seconds, and that's pretty rad. I also don't have to worry about participating in the eternal pissing contest that is masculinity, because ironically, one of the most fragile things in human existence is traditional masculinity.
See, there you have it. This is why men betray masculinity, because they don't have to live up to the very notion of being a man. They don't have to live up to they don't have to have any type of responsibility. You know what's actually funny though? When shit hits the fan, women are going to say, men, come save us. Men, save the day. Men, help us. And a guy like this guy is suddenly going to be kicked so hard in the privates. He's gonna be kicked out by women. Women are going to detest him. They are going to detest this guy harshly. They're going to detest him. He's going to be kicked so far out privately by women because they detest who he is and the fact that he cannot provide for them. He cannot help them. So he thinks that he's giving them what they want. But in reality, he is only setting up a scenario where when shit hits the fan, guys like this don't provide. I've said it already. The beta males don't provide resources. Men like me, MGTOWs, we go out and we get resources because no one's going to give us shit. All right? But these type of guys don't provide anything. These type of guys starve to death.
You have all these dudes doing dude stuff together, all of a sudden one of them exhibits one iota, one shred of femininity, and all of a sudden he's a girl, or he's gay, or he's a pussy, or something like that. That's how it works. That's how stuff works. At the end of the day, despite the name feminism, it's all the same fight. Women's rights and men's rights are the same thing. Same fight, same battle. The reason that I and most people who call themselves feminists are okay with the term feminism being used, despite its implied message that women should be above men, is because women have been the systematically oppressed gender between men and women.
Women have been the systematically oppressed gender. So men being forced to fight in wars, men being forced to labor, men being made the majority of all slaves throughout human history. Yeah, women have had it so bad.
And that's not even taking into account trans people and anyone else who falls off the gender binary. You can call yourself a feminist, you can not call yourself a feminist, but at the end of the day, it's an important thing that we need to talk about. Because despite those silly reasons why I need feminism because everyone needs feminism. Because when I drive home from work and I hear songs like Blurred Lines and Talk Dirty to Me, which make women out to be an object of a man's pleasure, we gotta talk about it. When one of those songs gets voted to be the #1 hit of 2013, we gotta talk about it. When I talk to female friends of mine all the time about how they're constantly harassed and valued for only their appearance over the internet and in person while walking down the street, we gotta talk about it.
You see, it's funny. Guys like this don't get girls. Guys like this typically do not get girls. There are times when a very desperate woman will go and fuck a guy like this just for the sake of getting his resources. But if you look around, a guy like this doesn't typically have many resources, all right? When shit hits the fan, guys like this don't make it. They don't. Because they are not able to stand up for themselves, so they definitely can't stand up for a woman. And this guy is constantly curtailing to a woman, constantly trying to validate them, constantly trying to agree with everything they say. I mean, this is the guy that men despise. This is the guy that betrays everything it means to be a man. You can't trust someone like this. Definitely not.
And in this beautiful and imperfect world in which we live in, we have a lot of things we gotta talk about. There are a lot of people out there who say things like, we don't need feminism anymore because there are laws in place that make women equal to men. And yeah, that's true. We have come an incredibly long way, but we still have a real long way to go. And bottom line, just because it's a law, it doesn't mean it changes how people think. That change happens on an individual level, not on a systematic.
So even if you have laws in place that change how people, force people to do specific things, it's about changing the way people think. In other words, social programming, so everyone thinks the way he does. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a cult. That doesn't sound like brainwashing. That doesn't sound like the loss of autonomy. Yeah.
It starts on the individual level, then it branches out, and eventually systematic and important cultural change happens. And that's what we gotta fight for. Because it isn't just women's fight, it's everyone's fight, and everyone stands to benefit from a world in which everyone can exist as themselves, for themselves, and for everyone else involved. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Made a video about the F word. Feminism. If you want to continue the conversation, definitely hit up the comments, and if you like the video, share it out to your social networks. It helps me out, and I think this is something that we gotta talk about. So yeah, as always, I'm Connor Manning. You've just become a little more awesome, and I will see you guys on Friday. Can we talk about how slightly disturbing this is?
Can we talk about how slightly disturbing or extremely disturbing this guy was? How annoying he was? How this guy is just essentially overlooking all the things that feminism has done to men? How miserable feminism has made the lives of men? How devastating feminism has destroyed the relationship between men and women? How unequal feminism has made society? Oh, but you know what? None of those things really matter, because in his world, he's being protected from pretty much the idea of what it means to be a man. He does not have to follow social norms, and masculinity is second tier for a guy like this. I want to know if you guys agree that weak men made feminism possible. Also, don't forget that I make 3 of these videos every single day, plus bonus videos. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider going over to my YouTube homepage, click on the Patreon link to become a Patreon and leave a donation. It really helps. Also, never miss another video from me by clicking on the notification button next to it, the subscribe button below any video. When you click on it, you'll get a pop-up that says send me all notifications for this channel. Go ahead and make sure the box is checked. Hit save. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it again. This ensures that you will never miss another Angry MGTOW stream or video. You'll always get a notification whenever I put out a new video or stream. And if you've already done it, again, you don't have to do it again. So let me know if you agree that weak men made feminism possible. And if you enjoy the video, definitely go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MGTOW or death. And yeah, I know this video was kind of short, but I don't really give a fuck. Cheers.